Welcome back, boys and girls. And today is a beautiful spring day here in Virginia. And today I thought I'd do a video about what I think is the best budget entry hunting rifle. And what I have is Thompson Center Compass in 6.5 Primo, and I have Browning AB3 in 243. But this also comes in 6.5 Primo. If somebody asks me what would be a good cartridge to hunt with for the beginner, I would truly recommend 6.5 Primo, like here. And the reason being is that this is very flat shooting. You could hunt anything from varmint to elk from 25 yards all the way out to about 600-700 yards. You really shouldn't have any problem if you know how to shoot right. So I think 6.5 Primo would be a great cartridge of choice for the beginner. And if you're a beginner, I would recommend you to buy a rifle that comes with a scope as a combo, because trying to mount your own scope for the first time can be nerve-wracking, and you could mess up the ring if you over tighten it. I have my share of heartbreaks in the at the beginning. So I looked up a price on Bud's Gun Shop for the Thompson Center Compass with the Vortex scope combo. They're going for about $4.99, and that's before the rebate. And Browning AB3 with a Nikon scope, they're going for about $5.80-ish. Now, when I bought the Thompson Center, I bought it about a year and a half ago. Bud's Gun Shop had a great price on it, and with the rebate, $75 rebate, I actually only paid $290 for the Vortex scope and the rifle. So that was really a killer deal. And with the AB3, I just bought this last year during the Thanksgiving rebate, and the Browning had this $100 rebate on it. So with a scope, with a rifle, I only paid $452 for it. So again, that was a great deal. So I did pay about $150 more for the Browning AB3, but I don't miss the $150 at all. So let's start with the weight. Now, Thompson Center without the scope, just the rifle itself weighs 7.25 pounds, and the Browning without the scope weighs 6.68 pounds. So when it comes to weight, a Browning definitely wins. It's only about a pound difference, but you will really feel the difference. Okay, let's first talk about the barrels. Now, they both come in thin barrel in 22 inches, but Thompson Center comes pre-threaded for the muzzle brake or for the flash hider. And also, Thompson Center, they use what they call a 5R rifling barrel, and they guarantee sub MOA at 100 yards, 3-shot groups. Now, the Browning is also well known for their great barrels. Now, this doesn't come with sub MOA, but trust me, you won't have any problem. And this is 22-inch barrel as well. Now, accuracy wise, they're really neck to neck, but I think Thompson Center would win by a hair, because on a good day I could shoot about a 1/4 inch 3-shot group at 100, and with a Browning I could shoot under a 1/2 inch, but not really a 1/4 inch. So honestly, they're both really very accurate rifle, but accuracy and the barrel, I would say the Thompson Center wins. Now let's talk about the stocks. Now they're both in black synthetic stock, but if you see the texture, the Browning is much better texture, and Thompson Center, they have this kind of wavy things. I don't know what that's all about, but that's what it is. Now, and another thing is that when you mount a scope, Thompson Center for some reason tends to be shorter. So I actually had to add an extra recoil pad to have a decent eye relief from the scope. But with Browning, I didn't have that problem. And also, if you see the recoil pad, the Browning is a much better soft recoil pad than Thompson Center. Thompson Center is not bad. Especially when you're shooting 6.5 Primo, this is not a big issue, but just want to let you know. And also, on the pistol grip, the Browning has a palm swell, and that feels really good when you're holding it. And I don't know if you could see this or not, but if you look at it, Thompson Center tend to be wider compared to a Browning, and I think that's because The magazine that they use is lowering magazine, and it's wider. So this this tends to be wider, and I have a decent, I wear large size gloves, so I don't have a small hand. But even even with a decent sized hand, holding this thick forehand, especially if I'm carrying it in the woods, dragging the deer out, this tends to be a little bit more tiresome. Having a thinner forehand stock was much more comfortable for me. And if you look at it, the forehand stock on the Browning is nice and flat. So when you have it resting on a like armrest or a rifle rest on the tree stand, this is very stable. Now with the Thompson Center, they made this round, so this is very wobbly. So I don't really like that. I don't know why they didn't make it flat. That would have been much better. And if you look at the magazine, Thompson Center is nice and flat. The Browning, it sticks out a little bit. But if I had to choose one by far, I think Browning has a better stocks on it compared to Thompson Center. Now let's talk about the bolt and bolt action. This is Browning. It's nice and smooth, and it's got 60-degree lift. Now if you look at the Thompson Center, this also has 60-degree. It's pretty smooth, but it's a little bit more rougher compared to a Browning. Now taking the bolt out, it's pretty much the same thing here. They have the button on the left, but Browning does come out a bit easier. And if you look at the difference on the bolt, the Browning has a stainless, and Thompson Center has a black metal. Now they're both same 3-lug system here, but I think you could see the difference. The Browning has much more heavier duty bolt compared to Thompson Center, and it's actually a little bit shorter. And the Thompson Center comes with a metal handle, but Browning comes with that's a plastic. I don't like plastic, but what I really like about it is it's got the funky angle here, and when you grab it, it fits in your hand really well. So I don't know if you see my video when I shot the 2 doors with a Browning. I was able to work the action really quick, and this really fits in your hand really nice and comfortable. So I like that a lot. Now let's put this back in. Now if you look at the fire indication, now when you have gun loaded, there's an indication here that shows it in red. I don't know if you could see it or not. So if you see that, then you know that it's loaded. Now with the Thompson Center, they don't have that, but they have this small hole here. So when you fire it, their hole looks hollow, but then you have to see through that little hole to see if it's loaded or not. So definitely, I think the Browning has a better bolt action. It's more smoother, and you could see everything. So that's great. Now, and also safety wise, I think if you see my review on the Thompson Center, one thing that I hate about it is the 3-stage safety being over here. It's empty. This is full safety. This is like a midway safety where you could work the action, but you can't fire. So you can actually empty your chambers. And then this is fire. Now this is not very comfortable at all, and it could be kind of confusing, when you're hunting, and if you have it in full safety during the hunting situation, you could get kind of a little bit confused. Now with the Browning, it's actually 2-stage safety, but then if you need to remove the bolt, you just have to push this little button over here, and then you can actually work it without with this being in safety. So I really think this system is much more convenient and less confusing, and it's a lot easier to work, and it's less noisy, when you're putting on and off the safety. So when it comes to bolt action and the safety, again, by far, I would prefer a Browning AB3. Now let's talk about the trigger. Honestly, they both came with a very exceptional triggers, and they both have a very clean brake, no pre-traveling, no creeping at all. Only thing is that Thompson Center, when it came to me, it felt like about 5.5 to 6 pound trigger pull. And even though they say it was adjustable, on my rifle it wasn't. They put some kind of glue on it so you can make adjustments. So I went ahead and replaced the trigger spring, and that was like 10-minute job, and it cost me less than $20, and that reduced my trigger to about 4 to 4.5 pounds. So I'm very happy with it. Now with the Browning AB3, when it came to me, it felt like about 4 to 4.5 pound trigger pull, and I went ahead and replaced the trigger spring. And this was actually easier to replace trigger spring compared to Thompson Center. And this actually reduced my my trigger pull to about 2 to 2.5 pounds. So now this has a really nice trigger. Only thing that I don't like about the Browning is that it's got a plastic trigger. I don't like that. And this has just regular black metal trigger. But honestly, if I had to pick one, the 2 pound difference in trigger pull is a big difference. I would definitely go with a Browning. Now let's talk about the magazine. Now one thing that I really love about both of these rifles is that magazine holds 5 rounds. That means I don't have to carry anything extra. Now with the Browning, there's a lever in the front, pull that, pops right out. With Thompson Center, pull that and you gotta pull the magazine out. Now the Thompson Center is all plastic, and the lever is actually part of the magazine. So if you look at it very carefully, there's a little edge here that catches into the stock. Now my concern is that if I'm snapping this in and out hundreds of times, that's gonna wear off and it won't catch anymore. So every time I put it in, I actually pull the lever, put it in, and then release it so that won't get wore off. Now with the Browning, it's a partially metal and the plastic, so it's a hybrid. But this I'm not concerned about snapping it in and out. Now with Thompson Center, it's a lowering magazine, so when you feed it, you cannot feed it from the top. You have to feed it from the front at an angle, so it will go in. It was supposed, hold 5, and after up to 3 rounds it's easier, but around 4th it gets a little difficult. At the 5th one, you really gotta kind of jam it in there, but it will hold 5 without any problem. Now with the Browning, it's really easy feeding. You could do it with one hand, one finger actually. So all my rifles, Browning rifles, has a great magazine, and as you can see, you could feed 5 rounds without any problem with just index fingers. So another thing is that if I'm at the range and if I'm target shooting with a single round, so or 2 rounds in the chamber, I could have my magazine in the rifle, and then I could feed it from the top. I could load it from the top. But with Thompson Center, I can't load it from the top because it won't feed from the top. You have to take the magazine out, and then you gotta load it from outside. So that tends to be a little bit of bothersome. So when it comes to magazine, by far, Browning wins again. Okay, here is the Vortex scope that actually came with the Thompson Center. And as you can see, they're both very similar scope. And as I mentioned, if I had to spend money on it, I would prefer to buy Leupold or Boris. But Vortex and Nikon BDC scope, they're both very reliable. You shouldn't have any problem target shooting or hunting with it. Now, in my opinion, the Nikon does have a little bit more clear image compared to Vortex, but honestly, it's a very small difference. And they're both power from 4 to 12, so you really shouldn't have any problem hunting with it even out to 500 yards if you could shoot that well. Now, nothing different is this right here. Now, this is for the Nikon, and if you see it at 100 yards, and then there's 200, 300, 400, 500. So this makes it really easy for you to get on the animal when you're hunting. But now when you're shooting at a paper, this big round can be a little bit difficult to have precise shooting. Now this is for the Vortex. Again, there's 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500 yards. But even 2 or 3 or 400, it makes it a lot easier to shoot at a paper target because it's more precise. Some of you might wonder why I have this black rubber on my barrel. They're called barrel stabilizer. Now, if you see my previous review, this Thompson Center was shooting about quarter to half-inch group at 100 yards without the stabilizer. But that was with a GMX Hornady. And this costs about $30 per box. Now, if I try to shoot it with non-typical on a, which cost me about $15, and on a rebate I was able to buy it for $10 a box, I was getting about 2-inch group. So I installed that, and now I'm getting under probably about 3/4 of an inch with this or with the Hornady GMX. So that's why I have that there, because I didn't want to spend too much money on the ammunition, because less you spend on the ammunition, more you get to shoot, right? But with Browning AB3, if you see my review, you could see that without the barrel stabilizer, shooting sub-even weight was not a problem. Now, I was shooting about 3/4 of an inch at 100 yards, but after I installed that, on a good day, I could shoot under half-inch group at 100. So that's why I have it on. So let's hit the range and see how this guy shoot.
One o'clock or
It's
12.
little high.
Upper left. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty tight.
Yeah, it is. Dead center.
It's touching, right? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's probably about a little bit more than half-inch, but that's a good 3-shot group there. Okay.
Take a breath.
All right.
Air it out.
All right. 3-shot group.
Oh, a little high.
Yeah. A little high, but still 1-inch group.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think I pulled the last 30 shots, so I'm gonna go for it again with 6.5 Claymore Thompson Center. All right, here we go.
Center target.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, right on that. Right
That's more
between
like
those
it.
two.
What did it hit? So okay, so there are 3 shots in one line.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. 100 yards. Let's have it there. Here we go. That's a 3-shot group with Browning AB3, and that is actually 4-shot group with my Thompson Center. That was my first, second, and then I knew I pulled the 3rd shot, so I took the 4th shot. So there's a 3-shot group. Here are the targets from yesterday. I lost my ruler, so I have to use this stupid measuring tape. But anyway, with the Browning AB3, I shot 3-shot group, which is 3 1/4 at 100, and with Thompson Center, it's a 3 1/4 for a 4-shot group, and it's a 5/8 of an inch with a 3-shot group. As I mentioned, they're both very accurate, so I couldn't tell you which is more accurate. But I would say Thompson Center is a little bit more accurate because without the barrel stabilizer, I was shooting like a 1/4 inch group at 100 yards, and you could see that on my other review. But again, they're both very accurate, but I knew I could have done better. But yesterday, having run, looking through the spotting scope every time I pull the trigger, kind of gave me pressure. At least I have that excuse, right? But previously, I was shooting about 1/2 inch group with both rifles. So again, they're very accurate. Also, I want to let you know Larry's knee replacement surgery went really well, and he want to thank you for all your prayers. And lastly, like always, thank God for what you have. Enjoy your life with what you got. But mostly, remember, every prayer gets answered. See you.